All right, welcome back. March 24th heralds Tuberculosis Day 2024, designated by the World Health Organization, focusing on this year's theme, Yes, We Can End TB. This global call highlights the crucial need for a robust leadership, amplified investment, and strict adherence to World Health Organization's protocol to confront tuberculosis. Nonetheless, Nigeria confronts formidable obstacles in addressing this pressing issue. In Abuja, Labran Shehu, the national coordinator of the National Tuberculosis and Leprosy Control Program, highlighted Nigeria's alarming TB situation. The country faces daily fatalities and a substantial 17% funding gap, necessitating $300 million to tackle the crisis. Compounded by currency depreciation, Nigeria ranks sixth globally in TB cases, with over 300,000 reported in 2023 alone. Nigeria's Health Minister Mohammed Pate emphasizes the urgency of addressing TB, citing a record-breaking 300,000 new cases in 2023. This as a preventable and curable disease to minimize its devastating impact on communities nationwide. Well, providing insight on this is a legal practitioner, I beg your pardon, health practitioner in person of Dr. Rebecca Mockley, who we believe is not at the moment with us because of some network issues. We're having her virtually, to be precise. She's a medical practitioner with over 10 years of experience in health and wellness. But stay with us in the studio is Mr. Akin Fatuke, who also will be helping us dissect all of this. And of course, we know that he is a communications expert and I want to dare say a historian, and of course can also take us through some of this topic. Now, Mr. Akin, we're still going to come to you because we're expecting the doctor to join us in no time. Considering the significant percentage of deaths resulting from TB in Africa, and of course Nigeria, what role should the government play in making sure that we curb this in the barest minimum?
Well, what role should government play other than making sure that we are properly governed? We are not just governed in that medical space like every other space. And look at the SDG that talked about health.
Right.
Cheap, affordable. But it's not becoming cheap and affordable because of the choices that we made in the past. I heard you roll out the statistics. Very interesting. I honestly sympathize with the minister. Okay, Dr. Pate. I mean, he's been out there elsewhere. It's all over the world. But in the peculiar Nigerian situation, I dare say we haven't moved 2 steps forward and we've taken five steps backwards. Let me throw something into the plate. The previous government, immediate past government, made a lot of song and dance round the fact that we need to get back to tropical medicine. Nigeria in tropical medicine was #1 in the Commonwealth in the 60s. People were coming here. TB was virtually nothing. We're talking about poliomyelitis too was virtually nothing. But today, what has happened? We've taken all those things back. We have pursued oil. We have pursued sharing money. And those monies, either when you budget for them, if they are not padded, if they are not stolen, we get nowhere. The point I wanted to just make is that, the previous Ohaire, the former minister for health, talked about the fact that we are going to get back into traditional medicine, looking at our herbs. Many Nigerians are not capable of affording off-shelf medication, like you said, because devaluation, post-COVID, even before COVID, we knew what was happening to us. We had sunshine, we had rainfall. So can't we go back into this, our helps? And a lot of money was voted in there.
Right.
Voted in there. I'm sorry, I haven't had anything. But I trust that Minister Pate will take a look at this again. Yes, we are celebrating a commemoration of World TB
Tuberculosis
Day.
Day, yes.
Yes, we can. Hopefully, Nigeria too should be able to do similar.
Now let's look at the medical sector and how it has, from your experience, how the medical sector is handling tuberculosis. We know that there are certain places carved out for those that have confirmed tuberculosis. But how many hospitals actually have that? There are some hospitals you visit, you see them, they are separated. And that in itself, I mean, I'm asking a few questions in one. That in itself, doesn't that make it seem like, doesn't that appear inhumane, where they are cut off, cordoned off from the rest of the patients? Is that, wouldn't they feel dejected? Can that that feeling itself lead to, further ill health and maybe death?
Moses, I remember, was it Bob Marley? He that is down fears no fall. Okay, that really John Boyan. Pilgrim's progress. That is low, no pride. We are low, we are down. We will not be able to now raise our heads and believe to go the way that you have painted. Elsewhere, dogs are treated and they have ambulances carrying them. In Nigeria, a whole human being is left rotting out there. Life has been so dehumanized. Having said that, incidentally, Moses, I schooled in the north at Ahmadu Bello University. Back then, decades ago, I can tell you, when you compare medical health care, it's gotten worse now compared to places like, say, Lagos, Enugu, Nsukka, right? Up to Benin, University of Ilorin, Teaching Hospital, Lut, Idi-Araba. They were much more properly managed. You didn't have this demarcation. But two things happened. Influx in population, unbridled, having children, and all that kind of stuff, without money to be able to cater for these children. And because you don't have money to cater for these children, you either sell these children off, this is exactly what we are witnessing, or you flush them down the toilet, and then those who still have a conscience, you take them to a clinic, and if somebody said he's going to demarcate a place, you run there. At the IDP camps, you don't even have a kind of demarcation. I am painting a picture of how groveling and how terrible life has been. Life expectancy, as you know, the thing moved from about 45. Statistics say that it's moved to about 50. I don't know, but we still see it on a much more regular basis. My sitting here is not to paint altogether a bleak example. It is there for anybody that cares to see. Go and look at Lagos State. Lagos State have moved it a notch further by the primary health care that they have. During Fashola's time, I believe. In fact, the president of Nigeria during his time, the vision was such that each of the local governments will have a health center. And that's happened now. What are the conditions of those health centers? A Jackpot syndrome and not taking care of nurses has rubbed off. And it's the reason why I still came back and said that everything has to do with governance and incentives. Setting the right tone at the top, at the governor's level, at the legislative level, such that monies that should go to take care of health should be clear. David called me an historian. I dropped one here, and it's painful. Nigeria, at one point in time, in the whole of Commonwealth, had the most solid yellow fever vaccine production capacity. The whole of Africa was looking up to Nigeria. You know where it was located? On St. Finbar's College Road, not too far away from Unilag. It was a big place. Go there now. What you are going to find out there? They've carted off all the things that need to be carted off. The place has now been sold to religious organizations. This was an area that Nigeria had a comparative advantage. I come back and make this fundamental point. We need to come back and then begin to see TB. TB, for crying out loud. Again.
It's a curable disease. It is a curable disease.
Very, very, very curable. But are we paying the right attention? Please go to your village.
Okay.
And you will see some of the things that is happening there. People are talking about Agbo. People cannot afford, and the doctors are not there.
Okay.
So
before we go to the village, let's go to Dr. Rebecca Mockley, who joins us virtually, but we'll be taking her audio conversation right now. Now, good morning to you, Doctor. We do understand the reasons why you cannot be in the studio. It's the usual traffic issues, but we appreciate you for your time and your desire to be with us this morning. Now, we're talking about World Tuberculosis Day and how it affects Nigeria. Nigeria is contributing, I use that word loosely, 23% death attributed to tuberculosis the world over. What is happening in the medical sector to ensure that this figure is reduced and quickly, because of time? We'll lump that with lifestyle choices that makes tuberculosis prevalent in our society. Well, we can't hear. I think our engineers should work on that so we can hear Dr. Rebecca Mockley audibly from the studio. All right, I understand there's a struggle to get her audio in. Well, okay. Well, unfortunately, until we rectify that, we'll have to move away from Dr.
It's great to be on the show.
Now,
hello, good morning.
Good morning. Good to have you on the show. If you have the question,
yeah,
go right ahead.
Okay, please, can you go back the question again? I didn't hear it.
Okay. I was talking about the role of medicine in Nigeria. What is the medical society doing to ensure that the 23% that Nigeria contributes to death related to tuberculosis is drastically reduced? And I also ask that you lump that with lifestyle choices or the things that makes tuberculosis prevalent in Nigeria. Now, as you make to respond, we'd like you to move the microphone slightly away from your mouth because you seem to be breathing into the microphone.
Okay. All right. Is it better now?
Yes, please. Go ahead.
Is it better now?
Go ahead.
All right. Good morning, and thank you for this opportunity to be on the show. It's a pity I can't be there physically with you right now. So, to the question, what is being done to reduce the percentage of incidence of tuberculosis in Nigeria? So it's an effort that is being done not just by the government, but the government in collaboration with various private partners and various non-governmental organizations to help to increase the awareness. So some of the things that are done are that the test should be able to fish out individuals that may have been exposed to tuberculosis. Some of these tests are made free, okay? Many people are not aware, but usually what is done is that to come around the hospital setting, they have different representatives that look out for individuals that have the classic symptoms of TB. One of the most classic symptoms is persistent cough for prolonged periods for more than 2 weeks. So any individual that has persistent cough for more than 2 weeks, before they even get to see the doctor, usually the representative offers them a smooth test, okay, to be able to fish out TB. Okay, so those are parts of the thing. But like we all know, healthcare shouldn't be even with the insurance, it should be affordable. But for many people, healthcare is not affordable, and therefore it's not one of their priorities. So what they do is they make these tests readily available and readily accessible. But the accessibility is only when the individuals come around the hospital premises. Okay, so that's part of the thing that the government is trying to pick out tuberculosis. Then I'm also aware that also in conjunction with other illnesses like retroviral disease, TB is one of the illnesses that accompany it. So one of the things the government does that it also offers individuals tests to be able to identify those that have been exposed to TB and then possibly start treatment for them. Then when it comes to lifestyle choices, TB is basically a disease that shows up as a result of a depressed immunity. Two things: exposure and depressed immunity. So the TB virus is everywhere, but if one's immunity is ideal, are likely to succumb to it. So it's not like one of the right people that maybe say it's as a result of maybe lifestyle choices, or it's not exactly that way. For example, nutrition can be a big deal for many individuals, especially with what is going on in the economy. If your nutrition not adequate, if your nutrition goes down, definitely you are now at a point where you are susceptible to any illness. And probably maybe 4-5 years ago you were around someone that coughed a lot and you got the TB virus introduced, and it has been long there later. But all of a sudden nutrition is down. Before you know it, you are exposed to the illness, starts manifesting symptoms, and you come down with the illness. So it's not as a result of, it's more as a result of maybe economics can afford. Despite harsh economy, good nutrition is still available. Also,
that's another conversation. Despite harsh economy, when people are struggling for grains, we're not even talking about the greens, the vegetables, and other things that might be able to balance up the meal. Now, but quickly, are there vaccines for this, and how often can one take a vaccine? At what point do you take a vaccine?
Okay, so when it comes to tuberculosis, there's no vaccine for it. What usually advise, especially people with populations that are susceptible to TB, we advise them to avoid staying congregated in areas where people have to be very close to each other for a long period. Avoid individuals that have prolonged coughs. Okay, avoid them because you're already illnesses. People that are susceptible are pregnant women, children, they are all susceptible to TB, and anybody with a chronic illness that is susceptible to TB. So we advise them to avoid, living in quarters where they are close proximity with individuals, because when you do that, they are exposed to tuberculosis.
All right, then. Well, unfortunately, we would have, prolonged this conversation, but we can't go beyond this because we are out of time. Absolutely out of time. But we must say thank you very much, Dr. Rebecca Mockley, for joining us on the show. Okay. Well, thank you once again, Dr. Rebecca. Mr. Akin Fatunke, we must also thank you. But final words in 30 seconds.
My final words, I know I'll be speaking for Dr. Rebecca and others. We need some incentivization in that field and, to encourage medical students, first of all, to stay. There are certain things that are roving around the fact that if you want to be a medical student, there's going to be a law that compels. We need to holistically look at it.
Yeah.
We need to look at the nurses.
Hazard allowance be increased as well.
Look at the nurses. Former President Buhari has said that incentives that should be paid to them that are stayed for 5,000 naira for those out there. It's not been done. So I know what I'm saying. Let's give them houses. Let's give them, let's make life a bit much more comfortable for them. And then, of course, for you and I, let's do more of the preventive. Again, don't let us throw away tropical traditional medicine that is tested and proven. Get NAFDAC to get involved in that, and then we get it all measured.
All right.
Nigeria shall thrive.
Oh, yes. Thank you very much, Mr. Akin Fatunke. Well, that's it on the show. We'll take a break now. When we come back, we'll be going into business, entertainment, and then sports. Stay with us.